Happy Friday, everyone. We got a fun little work set. Well, it's not a little, it's a little long, but we'll have some fun today. But we'll talk about that in a second. Our warm-up today. Good morning to Sumo squat for 3 to 5. Dynamic triangle, 3 to 5 a side. Windmill, 3 to 5 a side. And a goblet squat for 3 to 5. Just really taking care of the lower half of the body, working on some rotation work in that T-spine a little bit as well. Just give yourself some time just to kind of open that up after the week we've had. After that, we're going to get a little bit more kind of finessing into the work set. We've got some butt kicks for 20 seconds to kind of prime up that run technique. Single leg RDL, 3 to 5 a side to prime up the hamstrings a little bit more. Foot assist pistol, 3 to 5 a side. Again, getting those squats ready to go. And we're going to work on that dumbbell front squat afterwards for 5 reps. Just kind of figure out working loads and get comfortable with the weight that we're going to be using in the workout. 2 to 3 rounds there, kind of substituting that butt kick for some runs or kind of placing in your cardio piece in there just to make sure you have and practice what you're going to work on. And then we have the workout. So the workout is 25 minutes. The primary focus today is the run. The run is your primary focus, so I'm going to explore that, have some fun with it. It's an 800 meter or a 600 meter. Into 50 double unders or singles. And then we have front squat of 10. And the front squat can be relatively heavy-ish, but we should be able to take down 10 in a row and not have to deal with having to clean it or kind of put it down, break those sets up. So find a weight that you're comfortable doing 10 to 12 or even 10 to 15 reps, and then have that for your 10 set in the workout. So as we build into this work set, again, I talked about the run being the focus. So if you're someone who tends to go on the shorter side for the runs, because speed-wise, time-wise, today is a nice day to focus on going with the 8s to get a little extra volume in there. So if you want to go with a little longer run, maybe a little slower run, it's not a big deal. You've got 25 minutes. Use it to build that volume in the run and see where it takes you. So make it yours. Have some fun with it. I'll have some other options in the workout description, but use that double under and front squat as a chance to kind of level off the heart rate so we can move into that run again and try and make sure those runs are consistent and steady. So let's warm you up. Let's get you ready. We'll have some fun today. Let's kickstart off the day with those feet under the hips. We'll just take the arms big and tall. We're just going to wake the body up a little bit. So we'll reach it to one side. We'll reach it over to the other side. We'll come back through in a forward fold. We're going to touch those toes. We'll walk up those shins, nice flat back. We'll come down and frame a foot as we step back into your lizard. Nice and square in those hips. We're just going to lower the back knee. Press the hip. We'll come through and open up with that outside hand. We'll come back down, press the hip, come back through, outside hand, reaching, we'll come back down, press that hip, and come back through, outside hand. We'll plant that hand, straighten out the back leg, step back into your down dog. As we reach those hips, walk those heels nice and slow, nice and steady. Just kind of playing around with that positioning. We'll come back into our plank. Other foot comes up. Inside hand's going to set into that floor. We're going to lower the knee. Press the hip. We'll come through. Outside hand reaches. We'll come back down. Press the hip. Back through. Outside hand reaches. Come back down. Press the hip. Come back through. Outside hand. Plant that hand. Straighten out the back leg. And step it back. Nice and square in those hips. Let's walk those heels out one at a time. Nice and gentle. Coming back into our plank as we push the floor away. Let's tiptoe those feet up. We're going to roll ourselves up. Big tall stretch overhead. Little reach. Little reach. Oh yeah. Come back down with the arms. Whew. Get ourselves fired up. All right, so if you have any other gentle warm-up you'd like to take down, please pause the video, take that down for yourself, get yourself ready to go. We're going to start moving into that lower half of that T-spine work to get you prepped for what's to come. All right, guys, let's set our feet off in our sumo stance position. So our feet are going to be a little wider, all right, than our normal squat stance. We're going to start off with a nice good morning. So our feet in that sumo stance, nice and tall, set through the hips and ribs. We'll draw the hips back into that nice good morning. Then we'll stand up nice and tall. Then our next movement in this is our sumo squat. So we're going to keep our feet where they're at. We're going to push those knees out a little bit more as we draw those hips Pushing through those feet, we'll stand up tall, reset the hips as we pull back into that nice good morning, and then stand as we repeat, pushing those knees out just a little bit more than normal as we work through that nice full range of motion. So with that movement set, I want you to take the time to kind of fix and reset the hips and the ribs if you need to in between the squat and the good morning. After that, we're going to stay in our sumo stance. We're going to turn a toe and turn a toe. So we work through our dynamic triangle. So our hand is going to come to the thigh. We're going to reach up to the ceiling. We're going to draw the hip back into that nice hinge position. And then we're going to come back up overhead. So making sure that we're focused on that armpit being nice and solid to the front. My hips are going to be at an angle, which is okay, because that back foot is going to be also at an angle. And that's going to allow me to draw that hip into that back heel. So keeping that nice long torso as I hinge into that position. So we want to make sure that we're really focusing on that hinge, and that's what initiates that triangle, not the upper body. Once we've done 3 to 5 per side there, we're going to stay in this position once again, and we're going to work on our windmill. So we're going to take our one hand to the sky, pushing up to the ceiling, we're going to push the other hand down. We're going to pull the hips back like our good morning as we rotate at our low ribs, taking it as low as we feel comfortable and still able to maintain that shoulder position. So with that windmill, we want to make sure that we're screwing in that light bulb so that armpit is facing straight ahead. As I pull the hips back and rotate through the low rib, my armpit's going to start to change orientation, but that's because of my rotation at the low rib, not because my shoulder is moving on its own. So just keep remembering that. We want to set that shoulder and only take it down as far as we can maintain that isolated shoulder position. Okay? So really take your time there, focus on that shoulder. After that, we're going to move into a regular squat stance. And we can grab a dumbbell or we can do this air squat. But we're going to do a goblet squat. So regular squat stance, the dumbbell is going to come up under the chin. I'm going to push into my dumbbell just a bit, all right, so I get that engagement through the upper body. I'm going to draw the hips to the heels, the knees will track the toes, my weight will stay through the midfoot, I'm going to push through those legs. So I'm always trying to stay hip and shoulder dropping together, and then hip and shoulder rising together as I push through the ground. Another piece of that goblet squat besides our posture is we want to make sure that our weight stays through the midfoot and that big toe stays on the floor, because that's going to transition over into many other movements that we use, like the deadlift, like the clean, snatch. All those things require that nice flat foot contact, that big toe down, and that weight through the midfoot. So it's a great place to practice in that foundational movement of the squat. Quick little recap, we have a good morning, sumo squat, 3 to 5 reps, taking your time between those two movements. Dynamic triangle, 3 to 5 a side. Windmill, 3 to 5 a side. And then we have our goblet squat, 3 to 5 reps. At a tempo if you'd like, or just nice and smooth with that, or an air squat. Take that down 2 rounds, get yourself ready to go. We're going to talk about what's coming up next, a little bit more single leg work, and things to get you prepped for what's to come. All right, what we got coming up next, we're going to start building in that run technique. So I'm going to turn profile so you guys can see where my foot goes. I'm going to get my hands in this nice 90-degree position, holding onto that imaginary tissue paper between my pointer and my pointer and thumb. So loose grip here, so I'm not clenching through my fists. Now from here, I'm going to pull my foot up underneath of my hip and my glute, so that foot comes straight up underneath, and I'm pulling with my hamstring. I'm also allowing my knee to come forward, so my knee's not really coming up. It's more going forward as I pull my heel and foot up under the glute. Now we can take this at whatever speed you like, but we want to make sure that we are maintaining that posture in a walk, or if we start running, we want to make sure that we're still maintaining that good position as we run. Okay, so you can take it to any pace you want. You have 20 seconds of that butt kick to work on that position and that pull through the hamstring. Once we're done there, we're going to continue with the hamstring, and we're going to work on our single leg RDL. You could load this or not, it's up to you. But for today, it's just there for a little chance to kind of touch on the hamstring just a little bit more. So my foot is flat, Big toe down, weight through the midfoot. Other toe is down as a kickstand, about a foot, half a foot away from my heel. My hips are square to the front, and I'm gonna pretend like I'm holding a dumbbell if I'm not, just to get some upper body engagement and keep that upper back solid. I'm going to draw the hips back, allowing my knee to be soft so that it gets a little bend, but it's not a squat knee. It's a hinging knee. So as I draw my hips straight back, my weight stays through the midfoot, I take my hands to about my knee or just below, and I stand tall, straightening the leg and the hip. Making sure that when I open up the hips, I'm not pushing forward, I'm just coming up to tall and opening up the hip and the knee, basically simultaneously. Now from here, we're going to move into a foot assist pistol. So same setup for the most part. We're going to get our foot down in that kickstand, keeping that foot nice and strong and balanced, big toe down, weight through the midfoot. And then instead of hinging, I'm going to squat. So I'm going to take my hip to the heel, keeping my body tall, pushing through that foot to stand, and again, opening that hip and knee. Now if that's getting easier, what you can start to do is you can start to load this with a light load. So same setup for the feet. I get the dumbbell and the goblet to keep my body upright. Hips go down to the heel, so I'm in that squat position. Push through that leg, stand tall. Now if I've been doing this loaded one for a while, and I've been adding some load to it for a little bit, what I can start to do is now is take away that balancing leg. So I get my balancing foot, that kickstand leg comes to the back of the heel. I'm set and square, I can still use that foot assist to get tension, but I don't get the balance. Same movement, hip to heel, stand tall. Finally, with our last variation, if that's getting easier, I can load that, adding a little bit more challenge to it, building some more strength without the balance assist, which can be very, very challenging. So again, there's 4 different progressions for that foot assist pistol. Build slowly, build that foundation from a good, strong, ground up foundation. So good depth, good technique, adding some load in, taking away the balance, and adding some more load in. It's going to really help that position and help your squats as a whole. Once we're done our foot assist pistol, we're going to grab our dumbbell and we're going to clean the dumbbell up to the shoulder. So the dumbbell is up on the shoulder in that front rack, or I might have 2. I'm pushing slightly into the dumbbell with the upper body so I stay nice and tight and square. And my feet are going to be my regular squat stance. From here, same as before, big toes down, midfoot balance, and you take the hip to the heel just like the goblet squat, keeping that body tall, and push through those legs and stand. So I just have to give a little bit more engagement into that arm and that dumbbell. So I keep that dumbbell up, I keep that body tall, and I control the dumbbell the entire time through that front squat. So you can play around with some different loading with this, 2 dumbbells, 1 dumbbell, whatever you feel comfortable rocking that front squat today with. But play around. Remember, we're looking for a weight that we can do for about 10, 12, maybe 15 reps, because that'll give you a good buffer for when you start to get fatigued. Quick recap, we have a butt kick, 20 seconds, working on run technique and form. Single leg RDL, 3 to 5 a side. Foot assist pistol, 3 to 5 a side. Followed up with a nice front squat for 5 reps. Adding a tempo in there if you like. It's up to you, personal preference. I personally like to add in a 3-second tempo in our warm-ups just to kind of make sure I own those positions. We're going to hit that for 2 rounds, then we'll start doing a little practice round, making sure we're comfortable with the loading, maybe get some skipping in there, and making sure we're warming up that cardio piece we're using for our work set. So pause the video, take that down, and we're going to talk about the workout right now. We've made it to the workout / practice round, you guys. Here we go. Our workout is a 25-minute AMRAP. We're going to run 800 or 600 meters, or a run equivalent that I'll have on the workout description. When we're done that run, double under for 50, or a double under equivalent that I'll have again on that workout description. Gives you a lot of options to make it yours. Finally, our last exercise is 10 front squats. So you can do this with a single dumbbell, you can do this with 2 dumbbells. If you have a bar, you can do it with a bar. All right, so whatever you're comfortable with, you can play around, but make sure we're focusing on good squat technique, and we're allowing ourselves to move a weight that allows us to go for at least 10 to 15 reps, somewhere in that range, so we do have a buffer for when we get fatigued. Because when we finish our front squat, we're gonna go right back into that run. So when I was thinking about this workout originally, my goal was to focus on the run. The run is what we're looking for at a consistency base over the 25 minutes. So we wanna make sure we set a pace in the beginning and maintain that pace regardless of how fatigued we get. So that might be a slower pace than say a time trial 800 or 600, but we're gonna take it down at a nice steady pace that we can maintain similar time frames for those runs throughout the workout. So play with it, have fun with it today, you guys. It's a really cool little work set. It's long, but it's gonna help build some volume and really build that aerobic capacity for you guys in the long run. So let me know how it goes. Let me know what you chose or played with, how the runs went or your cardio piece went. But as always, work for quality, have a ton of fun with this one. It's gonna lead us into the weekend really well. So let's have a great time, and we'll see you very soon. Bye, you guys.